won the tournament. It was a single elimination 16 seed tournament. We learned a few things along the way. We've brought ourselves this glorious double elimination 8-team tournament. We are going to kick off our final night tonight with Donkeys R Us versus Team Numerics on Braxis Holdout.
The final night tonight. First pick, first ban to Team Numerics. And I was getting a little scared, Jay Howe. Apparently, one of their players almost didn't make it home.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see that they did, in fact, manage to show up with their 5-man roster. Been loving watching their games. Medic, the opening ban. And it's Braxis Holdout.
It's Braxis Holdout,
There it
and
is.
Cho'Gall is a thing on this map. And the way that Team Numerics showed it last night warrants the ban from Donkeys R Us. Not a surprise at all.
No, not one bit. I think it's always going to be a threat. Now we'll get to see how they want to approach Braxis. Braxis Holdout, we do commonly see teams looking for some kind of snap rotation. And this could be the form of a global with Dahaka, or Genji has become an incredibly popular hero. Throughout this playoffs event, we haven't seen a whole lot of early Genji, or Genji in general, but this is definitely one of the maps where you're going to see a little bit more of him just because of his ability to travel through the center of the map. Ariel ends up being that first pick.
You say that, and Donkeys were the team last night that brought in not just Genji, but they used Murden because their opposition ran a 3-2 split, which in essence would have worked fine, but they used the roam potential, the stun potential of the Murden Genji to support that top lane that had the Arthas. So they had a lot of CC, and it just seemed like that won out. They were able to push the pace. The other team did not give up that 3-2 split, and the minute it came to push out the lane, they were punished for it, and Donkeys R Us built themselves a pretty good lead off of that aggressive style play. So definitely something to keep in mind for this draft.
A continuing trend and almost a change in Open Division. Before, a lot of teams would be like, we just want this hero, and they'd pick it. A little almost careless, just drafting quickly. They gave it a good bit of thought, almost the full duration, and they go for an early Chromie. You mentioned the Muradin. This is good isolation blow-up potential, especially since you often have the, a guaranteed path. There's so many closed hallways near the points that exist, and when you're trying to control that space, Chromie can really pepper on the damage.
It'll be interesting, the approach. Chromie's oftentimes considered a good counter towards Ariel. And it's also one of those things that Chromie does well, slowing Sands when it comes to the Zerg phase, things like that, buying your team time. You can't be the sole one there, but you generally see Chromies play more of the style of making sure to use that Dragon's Breath on the minions, because you want to make sure that you have some control over that. You can't just give up a bunch of wave clear and hope that you hit skill shots with Chromie. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, we'll see somebody potentially be down there, maybe a support that has some wave clear, maybe the Malfurion, maybe a Rhaegar. We've seen a lot of play around this, but one thing in particular, Morales, no mana pool. Ariel, no mana pool. And now we've got a global with some passives there in the Brightwing pickup.
Okay, so double support trend, not a surprise one bit. You mentioned the Brightwing Global. You can do the stage dive, phase shift if it comes down to that. But ETC is going to be a sound pick regardless, just controlling that space. Damage-wise, there's too many options for them to be able to effectively ban something out. I'm curious if Donkeys R Us has to worry about an imported-esque composition here. Would they be wary of it being like Cassia and Zarya for the next two picks? We've seen good success from imported, and there are plenty of teams capable of seeing a draft, practicing it for a few games, and then rolling out with it. And they've had time for that.
It would make for an interesting split, especially given the early compositions. Vala's going to be banned out to make sure she isn't there with the double support, with the Ariel there. Obviously Cassia can be there. We might see some other type of control on that back line. We've seen a lot of Lunara. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see another support ban here. Maybe ban out the Rhaegar to make sure that your opponent can't get one of the strong heroes that has the wave clear, that has that control around the beacons with the totem, and somebody that basically, I mean, I look at that, right? And I think Chromie's there. Not great wave clear.
Nope.
If you've got Rhaegar, it kind of helps a little bit, but you force them maybe into an Uther style, and then you can pick up a Lunara. Unless Donkeys R Us is opting to go Lunara, which against an RL Brightwing isn't necessarily as appealing.
It's going to make the dance pretty interesting because there's still some like really nice picks when you talk about clear, like Gul'dan on the table. Would we see Gul'dan and Chromie on the same team? It's pretty unlikely that that would be the case. So that's another good hero to consider on the side of Team Numerics. They opt for the Genji ban.
I saw it last night, Jake.
The Genji Muradin. that roam, and they just both jump at you. The body blocks become a big problem, and before you know it, you're dead. And it was more of a Stormbolt build, I believe, that game. We might see more of a W build Muradin here. We'll see.
We'll see for sure. I like the Genji ban there. I think that potentially we might see the Lunara on the side of Donkeys. Maybe make sure that you have that consistent damage, that sustained damage with the Lunara, and then the Chromie to kind of hit the big shots. I don't know if it's necessarily the way that they will go into. Brightwing with that Spell Armor, Ario with the AoE heals. You can generally get a bit more control around level 10 for doing things like that, but they're definitely investing a bit of time. And after the draft that we saw last night with the solo Arthas leading into the Muradin Genji Roam gank squad, I don't know if we'll see the same type, especially with the double support, the control that you can potentially have. They go into the Zagara themselves. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, Zagara gives you the global response, which they will likely need. Not a lot of people want to run Falstad. Zagara also has pretty solid clear when it boils down to it. Medusa Blades, the Banelings, giving her decent clear and splash. Zerg v Zerg action. I can dig it. Not a common thing. I'm curious on the Malfurion pick over Rhaegar. Malfurion does have Moonfire. It's safer clear than Rhaegar. Rhaegar has to kind of get in there to deal with the wave. It's a big Zerg push with your enemy sieging with it. Rhaegar doesn't do nearly the amount of clear that he would do in a normal situation. So
you do become reliant on a Twilight Dream as your main interrupt, though.
You do.
For a potential mosh pit.
No cleanse available for sure without the Rhaegar. He could still be that last pick. We can't count that out.
I feel like Lunara or Gul'dan will be a likely pickup here by Numerics, but they still need their solo laner. And a solo laner with Zagara, they go into Zarya, which means they'll be opting for the 3-2 split.
That's what I was talking about, imported support. This is essentially what they do. A solo carry, double support, Zarya, and then a main tank. It was often Johanna in those games to have the basically denial of the auto attack damage of the blind. Worked it very well, and the unstoppable of Iron Skin and indestructible. But we'll see how well they can run it. We'll see how. Yeah, they give up.
Wow.
This is weird to see 3 casters essentially.
This is really the Gul'dan. Okay, so I think they were almost forced into this because the Gul'dan sits in the spot of, well, if they 3-2 split and Chromie is our only wave clear in one lane and Zagara's in the other, that Chromie is going to get outlaned by a 3-man or a 2-man, or you're not going to win that lane. Gul'dan takes care of that. You also have control over that. Going against double support, that might be appealing. Lunaro, it takes a while until 16 until you get that extra range on the auto attacks, but this is something, a triple back line with a solo Malfurion versus a solo assassin. We'll see how Zarya stacks up her energy with a double support ETC.
Definitely going to be hard to get some of those picks they're going to want to find with the Muradin, Malfurion, fair bit of control, but not out of the question. 3 ranged. Amazing for dealing with the push of the Zerg. They've got lots of safe clear. The 1 melee in the front, not having a cleanse for him. Gonna need Horrifies here and there. I'm curious if it'll be Nidus Network or Maw. We don't see a Maw pretty much ever anymore. The battle momentum provided from Nidus Network is super valuable, but we shall see very soon as Donkeys R Us are in the blue with Soyo Sarian playing as Chromie. We have Elahheim on the Malfurion, LZ Gamer playing Zagara, Jin on Muradin, and Sliceblade playing the Gul'dan.
Sliceblade is going to be there and on the right side for that of Team Numerics. Will be Caesar Salad on Ariel, Ven on Lunara, Kwanzar on Zarya, Flyest Raven on the Brightwing, and Fazda will be on the ETC.
Hopefully we don't have any rogue water bottles flying at the laptop today to change our scenes, and I'm super pumped for this series in general. Good way to start the night. Best of 3, ladies and gentlemen. Brightwing going for the phase shift style per usual. It is actually volatile acid rather than the norm of what you like to get in Fest, but in Fest isn't always going to get as much value in a 2-lane map, I feel.
Yeah, I agree, and it's super late game. I think getting that extra Baneling damage, the range gives you safe poke. You don't have to go in. And the approach here is really interesting because Zarya is Dunzo.
Yep, that's really well done.
Flyest Raven, got to be careful. It's in a weird state. I would almost like to see the 4-1 split for Numerics. It's hard because they don't necessarily have the traditional solo laner, and said they're going to go 3-2. I really worry about the solo Muradin, because if you can attack the Muradin and whittle him down, the Malfurion heals are nice, but that will like accumulate very quickly when you go solo frontline with that style of support.
That's true. They're actually still managing to do some huge damage. Whenever Brightwing doesn't have Pixie Dust, she just takes tons of damage, even with Zarya shields and Pixie.
What are
this
ETC and Muradin doing?
Tough to deal with, and you know, talk about under. I don't know. This has been going on forever. I don't. I don't want to watch that. It's always undervalued, I feel, at times, but Innervate on heroes like Chromie and Gul'dan with that cooldown reduction is actually gonna just really bring a lot of DPS out.
I have no idea what Fazda was doing there. He just kind of was dancing around while his team just got bodied in the lane and lost their entire front wall.
Yeah, that's
just straight got it taken from him.
Goodbye. Nice knowing you all. You're mine now. Zagara, being the strong solo laner that she is doing fairly well here on the top. Actually, ammunition being drained a bit, but beyond that, not anything meaningful has happened from the Ariel Lunara pressure. Phase shift coming in as Brightwing taps off the mana well. And again, the isolation of Jin in the front line is going to be a big theme of the game. That damage that they've drafted into, looking very successful so far.
This setup style is just weird to me. You have no wave clear in this 3-man versus a Gul'dan with a Chromie hitting skill shots. You have no threat. You have 0 threat towards the enemy team with this setup.
Something feels off. Oh my goodness, these are all the cues seem to be connecting from Soyo Sarian. The Fel Flames are not slowing down. It's already Pursuit of Flame, you know, at top off because they've just been getting such free damage essentially without ETC peeling them, peeling the team and keeping that wall safe.
The 3-2 approach has been rough here in the early game for Team Numerics. It seems like, in theory, it worked fine. The Gul'dan pickup, again, it's early game. Post level 10, this could come back and blow up in their face pretty quickly. But if you're able to snowball this, if you're on the side of Donkeys R Us, this is something I advocate for a long time, is that you don't have to get the beacons to win the game. You can just walk up, destroy your enemy's structures. If there's no threat, you just walk up, take it, and you know, who cares? You're doing more than the Zerg wave.
Yeah. They swap Ariel and Zarya for the time being. Brightwing does end up going down. Looks like it's going to give Jin control of the top, and that's going to be beacon progress for the first time in this game. And the game's already running away in favor of Donkeys R Us. Like, likely 100% beacon here. I think Zagara will be able to hold that on, even with Brightwing phase shifting. It actually does force LZ to a safer position. Nice Storm Bolt. Brightwing will have Pixie Dust soon, and oh, Zarya rotation collapse. That's actually a good collapse there. Finally a kill on the board.
It's a kill on the board, and that mistake lies solely on the shoulders of Donkeys R Us.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a little bit of greed, a little bit of overconfidence. They could have just stayed back, held the beacons, and not invaded. Instead, they got a bit greedy, and they gave up a kill.
Yeah, more beacon progress ticking on in. 7 advantage about to dissipate. Let's see, we have Hunger for Power. We do have Strangling Vines. And Strangling Vines, always very nice against a composition that's looking to have tons of support. You throw that down on the target, the Chromie combo comes in. Very difficult to save them in those moments.
Quick question, who clears this Zergwave? Because Lunara doesn't have any poke until 10.
Yeah.
And even then, it is a slow death. Kwanzar is going to have to eat quite a bit of damage. Fazda's going out there trying to get the shield onto him, so he eats some. And that's pretty much it. That's where your wave clears.
A tough situation as Zagara's across the map. The Fell Flame and nearly getting the kill as the Chromie Q nearly hits Kwanzar. 30 HP, living for the time being. Jin, that lone front line, is playing with fire. Moonfire is looking for their target. The Zergwave and Zagara putting them well ahead.
You know, we made this comment the other night when we did watch Donkeys R Us, and especially last week when some of their drafts, it's Soyuz Arian made his name in the open division by playing a bunch of mages. Finally got him back here on Chromie, and it is paying dividends so far. We've got level 10, a 2.5 level lead. This Zergwave just casually walking up to a key ball, Jake.
The triple ranged. Something we see so rarely nowadays is just looking like there's zero answer. The lack of dive, the double support they picked early, being punished as a result. And Horrify was thrown out, didn't get any value, but it's level 8 to basically 11. I think they're okay with wasting Horrify.
This is just a very rough early game here for Team Numerics, and the Zarya pickup, it works in some situations, but this is Braxis. You've got to have some wave clear to sustain in a lane. They basically have had none. Now, post level 10, this will look a lot different. We'll have ETC with
Posturing
I don't know.
Yeah, they can't contest this. Maybe, I mean, the play right now is to try to kill Zagara, right? But by showing there, Zagara knows she's safe to start working on these mercenary camps. They're now threatening the bottom fort, or bottom keep wall already, because it's huge advantage. I mean, this game is super one-sided. There's nothing else to say. The Donkeys are straight crushing Numerics.
There's nothing to do but just sit here and watch, and if you're on the side of Numerics, the only thing you can do right now, soak lanes as best you can, and you are just going to have to fight like crazy. The minute level 10 hits, you're going to be 2 levels down.
Oh,
Strangling Vines.
dude, the blow up. They've got Zarya, double support, and even ETC doesn't look safe. Like, Brightwing Global is giving them a bit of time. That's the experience they need. They cannot lose this keep this early, but they can't fight without 10. ETC gets dumpstered. Twilight Dream, not even needed, but did get used. There goes the keep, slowly but sure. Jin. Avatar.
One of the interesting things is LZ Gamer's placement on the Nidus. It's kind of on the enemy side there.
Dude, what?
Now, but here's the thing, is that level 10's been picked up. Wow.
This is... that's big that they kept that keep alive. That is a big, big, big game-changing deal. It actually keeps the dream somewhat alive. Not really, but it was pretty much donezo if that was down. Stage dive
was used to try and get on that back line. The power slide over to a basically ice-blocked Chromie. She has time out there. Entire time, Murden just on that back line with Skullcracker doing work.
Speaking of doing work, Zagara clocked in and is just going to walk to the Terran Depot and start tearing stuff down. While the rest of his team is battling for their lives. Slice Blade low, but not out.
The Dragon's High at level 7. People are just getting stuck in the middle, and it is doing work. The power side's going to miss. The Poly, however, on to Jin. He's walking away for the moment.
No Avatar, not yet, and it's not going to be there, so he does go down.
Zagara the entire time.
YOLO.
NBD.
By the way, I've got a Nidus over here.
Oh, Brightwing's found out Zagara bot right. She's not going to be, although Brightwing left the Zagara. I thought that somebody might peel back and they'd get the kill, but the Zerg wave here, it's going to be, this
could be game.
This could be game.
All right, so Zerg wave will have a single tower in its path. Oh, they want this one. Ooh, man. This defense. There's no Murden, so the defense is doable. That splash damage has gotten a little bit better. Stage dive expulsion zone. Ooh, the time trap, giving Sagittarian a potential out. They get Zagara. Oh my goodness.
Wands are lucky to be alive there. ETC will fall as the shields are also falling on the core. They don't have a ton of power here.
Yeah, Zagara's a good bit of that damage that they'd want, but cool Dan's game.
Burden just doing whatever he can to isolate. Buying his team. Donkeys R Us gonna wrap this game up here as 30% and falling is gonna be the core. And you can get the Murd in there all you want, but that is going to be GG in game number 1. Donkeys R Us looked at that directly face-to-face and said, that's nice.
Quick and sweet. 11-minute game. Donkeys. Got to be feeling good after that.
Numerics. When you outdraft yourself, that's what it looks like.
Now, I got to say, I got to commend Donkeys on playing triple ranged, right? That's a map where melee assassins lose a little bit of value when it comes to defending the objective, right? You have the banelings that crash into you, you've got all these different Zergs that pile in, and having ranged for a 2-lane map is just nice to have. But we still almost never see it. They opted to, instead of try to match the kind of sustain, when they saw the double support and then the Zarya, a team that had like no damage, they said, well, we're just going to draft a ton of range damage. And we don't see that very often, and it worked brilliantly.
The minute that Zarya pick came out, Gul'dan, double mage is not something you traditionally see. But against that, you knew that they were going to try a 3-2 split.
Innervated Gul'dan. Just
but the minute you know that they're doing the 3-2 split, you're like, all right, well, you do that, I'll just clear the lane. And that entire time, I just kept talking about it, is that
where's their clear?
You have nothing.
Where is it?
You're literally running ETC, Zarya, Brightwing, or Ariel as your solo, or as your 3-man. There's no wave clear there. None.
And, I mean, you brought up a lot of good points in the early parts of the draft. Why was ETC dancing around with Murden in the center of the map for a solid minute and a half while their team lost an entire wall? Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Those moments, I mean, is ETC just worried that he's just going to get poked down? I'm keeping Murden busy, guys. Sure, you can look at it that way, but you've got 2 members versus 1 in the top lane that's accomplishing nothing other than keeping Zagara from pushing while you're falling further and further behind. They were getting picked. The Chromie combos were devastating pre-7. Throw the damp and heal on the root with Malfurion in the mix. Everyone dies. Donkeys. Good start for them. Lobby is not up. But I'm thinking they'll probably try to go to Dragonshire or something.
They need to do something different. Because that draft, the minute I saw that come out, I'm like, this is going to be bad. Your wave clear is non-existent.
Yeah.
And it showed in multiple ways. So if you're running that draft on Cursed Hollow, all day. I'm part of that all day. And so more than okay with that. More than okay with that. But it really just felt awkward on Brax's holdout.
It did.
And so they'll have a chance to turn it around. It is a best of 3, so they'll have to make sure you can't go down another. I swear I hear a duck or something. By the way, did you hear that?
I heard it. I don't know what it was about.
Playing ducks, getting ready for the Crucible. Flying south for the winter.
I thought they're not playing ducks anymore.
Ooh, sorry. Diamond skin.
Rest in
Diamond
peace.
skin.
Rest in peace.
But NA full at hand here. Again, Donkeys R Us, the presumed favorites after what they've shown. Their track record says that they're one of the best teams in the Open Division.
Yeah.
And they're trying to work their way up to the Pro Division, put in a lot of time, a lot of hours. I can tell you one thing, that having a lot of these players on my friends list, things like that, you see that they're putting the time in. They are putting not a little bit of time in, they're putting a lot of time in. They've dedicated themselves to try and take that next step. So no matter how the night plays out, all these teams putting in the work, it'll be something that we can definitely say that in this scene, there's been clear signs of improvement, and definitely a lot of people that
you
putting the time in.
compare the level of play in phase 1 to phase 2, and it's not even comparable.
Yeah.
So, just so you guys know why I'm on my phone, we are at Blizzard Entertainment, and since my setup isn't properly permitted on the intranet of Blizzard,
They're afraid of the hacks.
well, it's normal protocol. I can't get on Twitch normally, so I'm now logging in to the Arcane8 account on my phone to make sure I can manage things. Fun stuff. But yeah, we're just waiting for the lobby to be created. We will start the draft soon. Right now it feels like there's probably some deep conversations happening on Team Numerics to be like, well, that sucked. What can we change?
We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to ask for an update on lobby.
Man, I'm so excited for the Crucible, though. I don't care who our second team is. Imported support, they showed up.
They did.
And, you know, I just cannot wait to see who else will join them. Heroes Hearth, Donkeys, maybe Numerics can pull it together. But it's going to be good. And we are days away.
Yeah, days away. You know, whoever wins this does play Heroes Hearth, and I think that no matter if you Team Numerics, right? In the early part, they played, and they're like, all right, you know, we lost the Heroes Hearth. That's fine. We'll play our way in from the bottom side of the bracket. Now, if they were to come back and win this series, they'd see Heroes Hearth again, and it's like, wait a minute, that's not what we expected. So, no matter what, I think our next series will be a really good series. And then, you know, we'll see, obviously, the grand finals. Still waiting on an update for the lobby. I'm going to ping the other team.
I just had to do a CAPTCHA that made me choose all the bridge images. And that was the hardest CAPTCHA of my life because they were vague images, man. One of the bridges was so far away. The struggles of protection. All right, Tomb of the Spider Queen. By the way, protected. I'm finally logged in. Great. We do have all members.
Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah. Of Donkeys here. Hopefully.
Better draft some wave clear.
Yeah.
You cannot go. We saw last night imported support after going up 2-0. Had one of the games in their 3-4 set, the Heroes Hearth one. And they drafted Morales, Lucio, Leoric, I think it might have been Murden. And it's like, where's the wave clear? And then they went Vala, and they went like a hybrid Q build, and they had 0 wave clear. And they struggled mightily in that. That's prime example of why you got to draft some wave clear of some sort. Yeah, you can say Leoric's there, but the minute those web weavers come out and you don't have anything clearing that, it's a tough game. So we'll see.
I don't remember.
Everybody's here.
This.
You want me to give them
some
thumbs up?
Yeah, we're good to go. Yeah. All the different screens, all the different machines we have to make this setup work. Casters have given them the go-ahead, and best of 3. Right now, 1 game from being eliminated. Team Numerics. Donkeys R Us, 1 game from getting towards that lower bracket final match versus Heroes Hearth, who are waiting and watching, I'm sure, because
even if they're not typing in chat, they're
there.
lurking.
They're
They're
there.
lurking.
They're in TeamSpeak. They're watching.
They're analyzing the games.
Might be warming up those hands in try mode.
Yeah, Arthlon back in the day used to wear the fingerless gloves. Keep his hands warm.
The hobo gauntlets.
Yeah. Gotta keep your hands warm.
You do?
Dark Chimera started to do that. Been around the pro scene.
Yeah.
A couple players adopted that. But it is time for our game number 2. Tomb of the Spider Queen here.
First pick and first band going to the side of numerics. Once again.
So you can imagine that they're going to take something off the board here that might be a Morales style, but I think Donkey's RS will undoubtedly be banning the Cho'Gall. But first it's up to numerics to figure out what they don't want to deal with, whether that is a Tassadar, whether that is the Morales, and they do ban the Morales one more time.
Okay. We've seen the Cho'Gall respect, and it's going to be there again. Not a surprise in the least bit. Ariel first pick last game. Ariel first pick this game.
It's okay to start off with this. We saw Chromie last game. This is actually another good Chromie map, and you can safely pick it early as well without worrying about too hard encounters.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if they do opt to go that route again, but there are several options, whether it's the Tassadar that you could go into, maybe a Tass Vala style, Tass anything. Tass does contribute to the wave clear. Might see an early ETC pickup. We've seen him kind of been dominant in the past, really good in rotations, getting early game kill potential. So Donkey's Arse, we'll see exactly what they have in mind. The last time we saw them on this map, a few weeks ago, they went the Ragnaros route. Did not look good. I'm hoping they had learned their lesson after that draft. Maybe play a little bit more current meta. So we'll see.
It's possible. Donkeys do still kind of play their own game when they can. Look at that. Definitely a map that Johanna is good at. Tassadar to enable, you know, the Vala, the Cassia, whichever they decide to go for.
The Cassia is a bit more appealing when you pick up Johanna.
It really is. I think it's a high contention hero here, and Cassia's win rate, I don't know if she's lost a game in the Open Division playoffs. I don't know if she has. She's only she's probably been played 3 or 4 times and done well. Gul'dan, good option for the clear. Good option with Ariel. Do they open the draft with double support again?
You know, Brightwing a little less appealing. We've seen
Yeah.
teams definitely with the Brightwing changes been more okay with it on basically all battlegrounds. You know, this isn't one of her best. You don't get as much value out of the global, although her base kit is a lot stronger with the Pixie Dust, and then of course complemented with the 4 and 7 talents in particular. We do see the ETC and the Vala will be there for the Ariel, so we'll see exactly who will be the battery, or who will be, excuse me, on the Tassadar side, who will be the one complementing that Tassadar pickup. And you mentioned the Cassia would be a really good option.
I'm glad to see them not going straight into double support, for sure. ETC Vala Ariel, just a really clean, flexible draft to move from there. When it comes to the ban here, I don't know that we'll see the Zarya ban or anything weird like that. What do you think about, like, just the solo lane? Trying to control that?
You know, Leo, Sonya, Dahaka come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
You could take away one from them and then pick one up for yourself and feel pretty comfortable going up against whatever the third option may be. So we'll see exactly what route they go, but they're spending every bit of time to figure out what that ban will be. Settle on the Greymane. Don't want to deal with a Vala Greymane despite having a Johanna. That's a little bit surprising to me.
It is. but I can respect it. Greymaine's definitely a strong hero. His win rate, like you said, it might not be what it once was. Still significant.
These teams are definitely spending quite a bit more time trying to figure out exactly what route they want to go. Now, you've banned out a lot of damage, but you still got to pick up some for yourself. And Numerics has got to keep that in mind. Maybe we see a Lunara ban. We saw Lunara. We've seen a lot of Lunara the last few nights. Lunara not as prevalent with the Tassadar, but has definitely shown that it's more than capable over our last few cups. But these teams definitely putting every second into this. They end up with the Ghoul Dan ban, man.
Okay. Take away some of that clear. You don't want to just give them optimal clear, even though you know Tassadar is going to need a hero that harmonizes with him. We mentioned the Cassia as being a top contender. You've got the blind of Johanna, the blind of Cassia. All of that benefits her. Probably not going to see Lily. I'm okay with that.
Well, they definitely don't have to commit to it. I think obviously you need a support, you need a solo lane, and you need somebody to really go with that Tassadar. And depending on whether you get that double support, you don't necessarily want to go into the Lunara, especially since there's already the AoE heals. So having something to fall back on, it's going to be interesting to see the approach if they opt to go that. We see the Lucio pick up here to go with the Tassadar. They do end up going ahead and locking in the Lunara. They're not completely... With the Johanna, it allows you to go a 3-2 split in case you don't have that primary solo laner and you want to go that 3-2 and just end up going into something with a bit more clear. Use the Johanna who's got the clear, and then keep Lucio hanging out with Lunara in the bot lane. Tassadar, Johanna, no Sanchez when they're paired together in some form or another for wave clear. So, see, on that last pick, I like that they're at least holding it, but it's now Team Numeric's turn to round out and finalize their draft.
Their clear is all right. They need more. I'd be content with the Sonya Dahaka to be a big solo lane help, manage a lane and have the clear when the Web Weavers roll around. After that, though, I'm expecting another support here. Rhaegar is still open. Rhaegar ETC, he's got the follow-up with Feral Lunge. He's got the clear with the lightning. They're going to go with the Uther and Leoric.
Good options there, because you could always go the Mosh Pit into the Divine Shield, although they're between the Lucio and Johanna, two good options, and it's really difficult to lock down the Johanna as the ETC, but you do have that option if you want to go that route. Now you've got the double support of Ariel Vala with the heavy emphasis on the Vala clear. You locked up your solo with Leoric. So now it's up to Donkeys. Do we see that 3-2 split, or will they go the traditional route and pick up the solo laner here?
Seems likely. They've already got Tass Lucio. Double support, close enough. Even though Tassadar is kind of a half situation. Lunara, lots of good spread damage. Their burst damage doesn't really exist. They could try to find some of that, but they really need someone to be able to go toe-to-toe with Leoric. It's going to be Nazebo. They're just playing for the late game, the overwhelming damage. That is good against Uther. Uther Ariel's a lot of support for sure. But the poison is gonna be gross.
End up with the Nazebo. Always the Nazebo. Always comes through at the end on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah, this map in particular.
And we saw a very different approach with the 3-2 split. It was either last night or the night before. And Nazebo stacked early and often and had his stacks very early in the game. That LZ Gamer. First on Zagara, now on Nazebo, confirmed, no longer melee assassin, only a specialist player. What has happened, Donkeys?
I can dig it.
Oh, I can definitely dig it.
Specialist getting some play for a change. A rare thing in the current state of Heroes of the Storm. Do or die time for the side of Team Numerics as we're going into game number 2 of the lower bracket semifinals. Loading on in on the blue side, that is in fact Donkeys Are Us. I'm pumped about the draft here. It's actually pretty. I mean, it's late game for sure when you run Nazebo Lunara. You're looking to have that overwhelming poison, but their siege damage is going to be beefy. Their clear is solid. And, you know, again, it's the second game where they have only the tank. No bruiser, no melee assassin, which is uncommon.
Yeah, definitely uncommon, but not unheard of. You know, I think in this setup, it kind of allows you to do that. Tomb of the Spider Queen. You look at the threat on the other side with the Ariel and the Vala. You know what to expect. A lot of teams have played against this quite often. I'd say the last few months been very prevalent in our scene here in North America and has been spreading for quite some time. But we'll see how it plays out. You know, we have the questing talents, 2 globe talents, one for Johanna with the regen master. We've also got Prog Rock for ETC, so making sure to get those AoE heals to deal with some of the poison damage that you mentioned.
Okay, looks like they have resolved the hiccup. And as soon as we
sure
get
it doesn't say we are sorry.
there's a comma, so therefore grammatically, we ready. Sorry, R means ready.
But just
R from Kwanzaa. 3, 2, 1.
Tell I'm just waiting for somebody to do 3, 2, and then hit us with that 3 again. Hit me with that 3 as we get the game underway, and it will be, of course, Johanna will more than willing walk to the middle, stake her claim to the middle part of the battleground, and dare anybody to step through there because she will be fine and healthy.
Now, one thing we'll keep our eyes on is how quickly Nazebo build up that trait roaming between the lanes. Definitely one of the maps where that is a constant.
They might keep him solo.
Power spike, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. That is not spiders.
Oh, you're right.
The pandemic is here. The toads are coming out. Is this real?
I guess so. That's going to be fun to keep our eyes on. Typically, we're talking about late game spiders becoming overwhelming with the spider colony and everything just doing tons of single target damage, something this draft doesn't have a lot of. But the spread damage of toads, the spread poison of Lunara, we always say donkeys is always a little, they kind of dance to the beat of a different drum in a way, and they like to approach the game slightly differently.
Quite a bit differently there as the power slide in by Fazda will have that double support as he makes his way out. But good control there by Jen. Elhaim eating a bit of damage, has to back out. Those passive heals will catch up in time. So right now, pretty neutral in the early game.
And Nazebo will not get the full power of that trait if he is in the solo lane. Oh, Slice Blade lived for a while. Not going to be able to live through everything.
The Ariel whip just kind of casually hit the dead body of Lunara, sending her flying across the tomb floor. Fazda getting a few gems turned in early, unable to be interrupted.
Not too shabby. Always nice to drop them off when you can for free. No cost whatsoever. Level 4. Full long-range arrow build. As a Fazda does get the power slide in. Man, the sustain though. Uther Ariel. They'll be able to pressure with the damage later on, like we said, but in early game, they're just gonna have the response almost every single time between Uther, the snap heals, the armor being significant, and then Kwanzaa slowly but surely getting that energy to heal the team up.
Slice Blade in pursuit there. Elhaim gonna get the speed boost to get over there. It should be okay. Fazda looking for the peel if needed. Jin just being that wave clear bully there on Johanna, and has been very easily in control against this ETC setup, so much so that they brought Leoric up to see what's going on.
Yeah, Leo being up here allows Nazeebo to pop out of his hole for a moment. Jhin pops the Iron Skin. Good control with the Condemn, the Lucio utility, enough to get him to safety. Does Jhin have the well? He's rotating up right now. 10 seconds before he can tap the well.
I got a feeling this early game is pretty much how we're going to see this, in the sense that with the Johanna pickup, this control style, it's looking to play more of the control of the battleground. And might not always be the most exciting. A lot of people like those breakout team fights, but it gives a chance to play into the late game, play things that are more in your favor, control the battleground, and then you hit those big spikes. As you said, that poison scales really well. Having that damage from Nazeebo, of course, will be a big spike if he can get his stacks completed. Currently sitting at 52 of the Voodoo Ritual stacks.
27 to 27 gems turned in a 10-ish gem advantage, favoring the side of Team Numerics. But good damage going through. Jhin has a forward position to Team Strike, forcing him just a bit back. Fazda receiving the heal in time to get to safety. Yes.
Oh. The heal coming through there on Ariel, enough to keep Fazda alive. We're going to see another attempt at a turn-in as Soyuz Aaron just
multi-shot doesn't quite
dodges
reach.
it.
Yeah. All right. 7 more needed. Nazeebo, 9 toads. And just Leo in his. Oh, speaking of Leo. Phase shifting, looking for the kill. Psystorm.
It should get him.
Yeah. Does find it.
And that's the thing, is I think Flash Raven stopped for a moment, but the dimensional shift was used, and it's like coming out of hiding. Hello! Guess who's home?
Got him. Web Weavers, for donkeys are us. First in this game with level 7. Guess what? Toads of Hugeness. Now definitely going to help empower that, make them a little bit more threatening. Also nice for the siege when you're pushing behind the Web Weavers, especially as when you have that talent. Very effective.
Going full Toads. Only 9 stacks on Pandemic so far, but did go Toads of Hugeness at 7, so they can amplify that damage as they go further. But in the meantime, we've got our Web Weavers pushing and LZ Gamer all the while. You can see that poison damage when those Toads hit. That's real, Jake. That is some real damage.
Yeah, it's gross. And, you know, we keep saying that, but the Lunara and the Nazeebo, poison overwhelming, is definitely going to be a thing. Even just the Psystorms being thrown in the mix for a little bit more additional damage. Ariel can only heal so frequently, and Uther's armor is not going to get too much value.
He's gotten into a little bit of an interesting build. There's a mini stun, like a micro stun that happens on a Johanna Condemn. So it might be advantageous if Uther walks into a situation like that and gets the cooldown reduction on that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the only one. That's literally the only thing that can proc that.
You're right. Yeah, it does count as a stun with Johanna. Bless Shield. Sure. Johanna does go Bless Shield, was holding that heroic option a little bit longer than the rest of the team. And with that being locked in, everything has been picked up. Thornwood Vine to continue bring in that spread. And it is Archon. Gargantuan has been summoned to basically be the goalie here over the coffers. Wow, Vin is taking a lot of damage right now. Slice Blade throws another Hungering. We do have the Blast Shield connecting. The poison will trickle down, but Vin should be able to live through this. Caesar Salad making it there with the heal in time. Blast Shield spent for that. And Gargantuan, but 10 about to be picked up from Team Numerics.
The cooldowns aren't terribly long, so it's not the worst thing in the world. We are going to see the Crystal Aegis. Got the Mosh Pit. I was going to say, imagine it's got to be the Divine Shield to kind of follow up on that. Now it's up to Leo. Will we get the lockdown with the Entomb, or will it be March of the Black King? And then Vala also holding on to hers. I'm a big fan of Rain of Vengeance. After you blow cooldowns, you can Rain of Vengeance, or if you're going to go strafe, you better make sure that you're taking full advantage of your Q, E reset, Q again, but it will be Rain of Vengeance to try and follow up on that Mosh Pit.
Okay. They've got the snap plays. We've seen it work in the past. March of the Black King or Entomb, we still do not know. The poison threatening and pushing them a little bit further back. They would love to get that turned in. 87 gems between the members of Team Numerics. And this is a good time to turn in. It's about to be level 12, but you're not looking at a talent deficit. So they're eager to find that opportunity. But they're just not getting the chance. Soy Osarian will get a turn in, however, but they lose Lucio.
And the timing is kind of rough there. I mean, the death timers are pretty short to where Lucio will be back to get some value in a potential push, but Flyest Raven looking for the flank. There he goes, the Entomb. I'm not 100% sure what happened with that one.
No, that's... would have been nice. You get one target there, you set yourselves up for a big moment, because that's effectively a Web Weaver phase that's going to do little to nothing. Now that Lucio is well on his way back, the Web Weavers have just spawned and they're still plenty healthy. You got to be careful. You got to do your best to not lose all 3 forts.
They will find themselves down a talent tier at the end of this. However, they are holding on to a lot of gems, so the comeback potential will be there once they're able to potentially get the next turn in or obtain 13. But you talked about losing forts. This should be all 3 going down, but we've got a divine mosh pit. There's the Rain of Vengeance going down. 4 people ended up in that. Jen on the backside is going to be there momentarily. The stun, the shield is there. Jen walking away with that speed boost. Iron Skin is out, and for now he's going to walk away. The Entomb is back, though.
Entomb is back. Power slide in. They're looking for the Archon, and they managed to pop Tassadar. Flyest Raven gets a Crystal Aegis, and they're keeping him up. Elohim had 46 hit points, barely living. Another team fight victory going to Team Numerics. That was down 13 too. That was big. Yeah. What did they lose? All 3 forts. Okay.
But they're sitting on
experience-wise,
112 gems.
Yeah. This is good for them. Definitely.
If I'm on the side of Donkeys R Us, I'm looking to potentially get camps unless you want to play the denial game. You have one of the best goaltenders, and you actually have 2 pretty decent ones. You've got Johanna there, and you've got Lucio, who can speed around, but you got to be careful of the power slide stun composition.
Bonzar trying to get the damage trick on Elohim will not succeed in doing so. Could have been a nice pick on Lucio once again. But unfortunately, they need to just try to heal up through that poison and approach the other copper. Flyest Raven interrupted 32 attempts. They only need the 12. Entomb on Johanna. Power slide a little bit late. Rain of Vengeance also being thrown out. Not good enough to find the kill. Oh, did Kwanzaa miss himself?
It was just that much poison.
Oh, okay.
It was literally just that much poison.
Wow. That's gross.
They're having a tough time finding a turn in. And they're only 20 gems short on the side of Donkeys R Us. So one of the things that you can do if you have a team that is constantly threatening defense, one of the best things to do is to force them to respond to something other than you. And you can do that by getting a camp. They're going to pick up their night camp. It does go down the mid lane, so there will be some control. They have decent clear to take care of it, but you have to at least give something for them to respond to, and they're going to make that attempt here with the night camp. Is Leo getting a turn in?
He is? All right, good call. Leo drops it off, brings his team to a position of aggression for a change. They can look to bring down some of the forts, and if they can confirm a fort or 2, they'll massively help with the XP differential. I mean, 16, it's not that far away. The Web Weavers, they can try to even the odds.
Yeah, it will give them some semblance of experience here. The top lane will push out basically to the middle, so they don't have a whole lot. Fazda went in with the aggressive power slide, met with a lot of damage in return, and the boot back as Jen steps out. He'll be fine with that Iron Skin still in place before, but all of a sudden we've got ourselves an Entomb.
The Entomb forces out the sound barrier to try to keep Lunara alive, but they will be unsuccessful in doing so. Divine Mosh locking in 3, and that's opening the gates for them to push in, but the poison damage of Nazeebo on his own is still significant. Safe posture. Force for a moment. The power slide is good on 2. The knockback is huge here. Elohim so low, but that movement speed gonna be enough.
They got to get out of here unless they take this down fast. Okay, they're going to get it burst down. They're going to eat the ammo shots there as they retreat back to defend the other lanes. And the
Look at
longer
the
that
XP.
they stay there, yeah, the XP is
That's
now
it.
in favor. They're going for
Ooh.
more?
Almost
Ooh.
found LZ. Retreated back to a safe position.
Back-to-back
16
turn-ins,
will be reached at the same time. And yes, back-to-back turn-ins are threatened. There is time for them to push out on the map. They just got to be worried about a party bush. Party bush, are they going to be sent forward looking for that? Coffers, 10-second buffer here left before you can turn in.
Jen comes on by. It's like, well, this is a party I don't think I'm invited to. I'm just going to come back with some friends and see if you'll let me in this time. Kwanzar sitting on the backside with Vin, waiting to get the turn in. Good zoning here by
They
Team
got
Numerics.
it. Free turn in. Numerics keeping the dream alive right now. Up the frequency at level 16 for Lucio.
We've seen some different talents over the last few nights. Speaking of different talents, because you didn't go spider build, I'm seeing Soul Harvest for Nazebo. That is not something I generally see. You activate this to increase your health and spell power for each nearby enemy up to a max of 35%. It lasts for 15 seconds. It's really fun talent in Diablo 3 though. It's been a while since it was better.
I bet. Okay, Poison makes quick work of middle Web Weaver. Top Web Weaver, quite staggered. The Entomb does hold one member out for a while, but Johanna holds strong. Leo goes down first. Decent amount of gems will be lost in the process.
I think Flyest Raven might have lost track of his body there. He ended up using his trait or his ability that he picked up, the Ominous Wraith, by passing through members. He did that on the backside, left himself vulnerable, and just got poked to death.
Fazza does have a power slide if he needs it. This Web Weaver's going to be made quick work of once again. So the second turn-in, doing very little. Keep wall, still alive. Actually, I don't think a single structure fell from that back-to-back turn-in. They still have nearly enough for another one, but look at the XP. Again, that swing.
They've got quite a bit. Kwanzar going into the Reservoir of Hope, sitting on that full Hope bar. It's one of those things to where, like, it's good to hold on to in case a big fight breaks out, but if not, maybe you should use it so that you can get another one if you got a little bit of downtime, but it's a little bit riskier.
41, Fazda, the triple turn-in dream. But if it's anything like that last summon, all that summon did was bring loads of experience to the gates of Donkeys R Us. They have so much poison between Lunara and Nazebo that honestly everything just kind of melted, including Leoric. Lost some gems in the process. This is the rest of their bank account. They've spent it all on this turn-in, and they're almost a level down here.
Go for broke.
Go for broke. Top 4 will fall. That'll help.
Yeah, they're pushing in the middle, trying to maximize a single lane push, trying to get that experience. That way they don't lose the 20 tier in the middle of what could potentially be another turn-in. The Entomb again is going to lock Jin in, but that is Johanna, and she just basically is
Deja
like,
vu.
that's cool.
Deja vu. It's the Entomb on Johanna. Johanna doesn't die. The Web Weaver falls soon after. They did get the top 4 in the mid keep, so that helps them with the experience a little bit. That's going to be the end of that, and that's, again, the rest of their bank account.
Must not have had a lot in there.
No. Well,
Didn't get much in
they
return.
gambled a big part of their savings.
Well, experience slightly in favor of Donkeys R Us, and now 20 gems for Numerics. 77 with 25 already in. There's another 3. So it's up to Donkeys R Us to either play the talent tier game, get a camp themselves, then get a turn in. Looks like they're posturing to clear up these lanes. They want to clear up top, and we have an invade on the other side here. I like this call from Numerics.
It looks like it's going to go unscouted, and Donkeys are playing oddly passive. It's almost like they want to wait for level 20 before they do anything in this game. Not grab their own camps. They haven't grabbed a single camp this game. They haven't looked at the boss. They haven't considered the knights, and they haven't even considered that turn-in, which was honestly free. They're just running away and playing this, well, we're not going to see you. We're not going to look at you fight. And it's weird. I don't know that there's any reason to be that defensive other than, I guess, Nazeebo does get a lot better at 20, but playing safe for sure is what Donkey is doing.
Speaking of Nazeebo, are you able to see how many stacks? Because he's finished his 165.
214.
214, and he went the level 4 talent where you get extra bonuses. Increase the health and mana bonuses from Voodoo Ritual by 100%.
Yeah, no, it's going to be disgusting. You activate your level 16 with Soul Harvest, and you just put out ridiculous damage. Stat-wise, 111,000 damage done from Lunara. Nazeebo hasn't done all that damage to the enemy heroes, but when it comes to the minions, when it comes to the Zerg wave or the Webweaver waves, definitely has been plenty. And there it is, level 20 with the Vile Infection. So Nazeebo is now officially a god. Not this typical spider build, but those toads at max range are going to feel real bad.
Yeah, it makes your sieging potential with this composition, with the 20-tier advantage. You'll be able to be very aggressive. This top lane already weakened, and you talked about it. The Nazeebo poison damage is in full effect with all of those stacks, and the toads. Even that sidewall.
One toad
terrible.
touched the sidewall, and it's just like, oh, I'm done.
Throw out a bit more here as Jin goes in, gets a bit of zoning in. Level 20 was
Nice,
finally
zombie
picked
wall.
up. Kwanzaa locked into the zombie wall in a tough spot there, and that is just melting.
Gross damage. Gross, gross, gross. Leo has been doing his best to deal with the mid lane and getting the experience for level 20 for his team. And he's actually in this interesting posture. They do not have eyes on him, looking for the flank and the entomb. Look, they are playing very safe here, though. Yosarian with the D-shift to escape from ETC. Flyest Raven gets revealed from the Wisp. Good presence of mind there from Slice Blade. He's looking for the collapse. He's got it onto Lucio. Sound Barrier will be an option if they decide to go for it. The mosh pit's good. Sound Barrier is going to be needed.
Sound barrier is out, and all of a sudden you've got the ice block on. Nazeebo who's going to live for the moment. The blinds are there, but the poison damage in return.
Oh.
Caesar Salad's going to go down, but that is Uther, the one target that you don't normally want to get onto. Uther's going to heal up. He should be back in just a moment, but Fazda taking so much damage, as is Kwanzaa. They're trying to retreat. They are under assault and somehow still alive, but Flyest Raven going to be the sacrificial lamb on the front line.
Double support versus double poison. Who prevails? They do get the kill on Tassadar. Gems reclaimed for the team. Leo still down, but being as annoying as possible in the ghost form. You see the toads threatening. They retreat. A lot of gems, 93, available for another turn-in, and minions on the core as the top and bottom lane have been wiped out completely, but not enough to threaten the shields just yet.
It's a tough game from here on out for the side of Numerics, as they have lost top and bottom keep. So they're going to make a desperation play here, recognizing that they have really quick clear with Q-Build Vala. The Wisp will scout them out, and I think that they're willing to concede because they have catapults at their back, catapults on the core. They're going to get another turn-in the bottom lane, so the boss value going to be pretty insignificant because
Flyest Raven is going to lose his life immediately.
Flyest Raven.
This was to stop basically an interrupt on the channel, and it's not going to be enough time to stop the full summon of the Webweavers. Yes, there's a boss in the top lane. Tassadar just now respawned. If they get the kill on Slice Blade, everything stays alive here. Oh, they just a little bit shy of picking up that kill. Jin, not an easy target.
Not an easy target. Again, they have to respond. They cannot push with the boss. The bottom and top lanes are so far pushed out that if this boss, at this point, it's almost okay to just let that push and go try and get value elsewhere. Okay, so they are committed to the push. The bot lane should be cleared up. Mid keep likely to fall, but these lanes are very much threatened.
Oh yeah. Bottom Webweaver is going to be cleaned up nicely. Top Webweaver is completely pushed in, so it's not even going to really make it here. But mid is definitely an opportunity to take out that keep and see what they can do from there. We have the Entomb early onto Lunara. The focus is good, but Sound Barrier once again buying time from the team. That mosh pit almost got what they needed, but not quite.
Not quite. Archon is out, so the damage is also going to be there. The poison damage is going out so tremendously well. Crystal Aegis on Uther. That is the wrong target to hit with the Crystal Aegis. He should have had the redemption up by now. Shouldn't have not gone out. But Quanzar with the big heals. That Reservoir of Hope is coming into play, but that is going to be Leoric first to fall, and that is so much damage going out here.
Oh my goodness. It doesn't stop. The health bars are in a constant decline from the poison. Lucio picks up a double kill here with those boops, and the core is falling. Donkeys R Us will proceed to the loser finals to face Heroes Hearth for a spot in the Crucible.
That damage was nasty. I mean, poison, no matter how much hope Ariel was generating, Reservoir of Hope was stacked up, but 155,000 damage by Lunar. And I want to point this out because I had the pleasure, the benefit of checking the damage. In that last team fight, put out something like 20,000 damage. I was looking at it was like 130,000. Ariel kept healing, kept healing, kept healing. It's crazy.
That's insane.
That was, you know, Ariel had 137,000 heals. Uther 96,000. Okay, that is what I'm saying is that damage was there, and you could only heal so much. That's why Uther generally struggles against the AoE heals. Yes, you've got Ariel there, but generally you don't see that typical pairing. They tried to do something a little bit different with it. It wasn't bad, but the superb play by Slice Blade to manage to put out that much damage, very, very impressive.
Impressive for sure. Congratulations to Donkeys R Us being a top 3 team, one match away from a shot at the Crucible, but also a big shout out to Team Numerics. This is a team that really rose up towards the end of Phase 2.
Yeah. Who were they, right?
Exactly.
Nobody had any clue. I've had people like, who are these people?
It's like, I don't know a single name on this team. Like, and that's was a very common comment, especially in day 1 of HGC when they opened up in the bracket and actually defeated Operative 2-0 in a pretty convincing fashion. That's going to set us up for that losers finals. Heroes Hearth and Donkeys R Us in a best of 5 series. Guys, we're going to get ready for that. Don't go anywhere. Spread the word on social media. We'll be back in just a few moments with this lower bracket finals. Do or die time to keep that pro dream alive.
Winner goes the Crucible. Winner of this guarantees a spot in the Crucible. You do not want to miss this.
No.
This is somebody's dream. At least one step of that dream coming true. The other one, probably going to be a little bit heartbroken, and I don't think anybody expected us to be here. I am starting to feel the hype. That or it's the coffee. One or the other. But I'm getting hype right now.
So am I, guys. We'll be back in just a few. Stay tuned.